Welcome back. So look at Bitcoin. Look at again how strong Bitcoin is and how fast it bounced back. Just yesterday, I told you guys how Bitcoin dipped down a little bit because of the GDP reading, but I said that there's a really good chance Bitcoin will just bounce right back up because it was just a knee-jerk reaction because people just panicked and decided to sell everything off. But during the day and even after market open, Bitcoin started bouncing right back up. And look at today. Not only did it bounce back to where we were, 94, 95,000, but we went up even further. Now we're at 96.4. In fact, if you're looking at charts right now, we're higher than even earlier this month, and things are looking good, real good. This is even better when you consider all the negativity that's out there. Yes, a lot of negativity. Let me show you. Look at this. CNBC right now, despite the fact this is a surprise, all the futures are in the green, but look at the headlines. Okay, three very negative headline right on the front page. First of all, weekly jobless claims comes out, surges higher than expected. Okay, obviously, when a lot of people are out of work and this number is higher than expected, that's no good. So that's number one. That's never a good thing when you have more people that are sitting at home, not working. Number two, you look at someone like McDonald's, largest sales decline since 2020, since COVID. That means it makes sense since people are out of work, people are also spending less. This correlates with a lot of the reports that we, heard from companies like Pepsi and Coke and P&G and others that have reported sales are declining and they're forecasting weaker sales as well, right? And then look at this. U.S. Chamber of Commerce asked Trump for tariff exclusions because they think a recession is around the corner. And that's not the end of negative headlines. Here's another one. China exports to U.S. plunge as tariffs hit, leading some experts to warn of product shortages. Yeah, that's right. If we don't solve things, we will, in the US, have a boatload of shelves that will be empty, just like 2020 days, right? So, all this, all the negativity, everything, um, is actually driving Bitcoin upwards. That is awesome. That is why times now is a little bit different than before. This is what we've been waiting for. This is a turning point for Bitcoin. This is actually now the time when we could say people are actually turning to Bitcoin because of distrust in governments, in money, in inflation, in all the other things, right? This was the reason why Bitcoin was created because of all these things. We never saw Bitcoin really stand on its own. It was always correlated with US markets, always correlated with tech, always correlated with, everything else. But whenever things got rocky or volatile, Bitcoin went down with it. But now Bitcoin is standing on its own and it's super strong. And it looks like we are ready to go even higher, right? A lot of people are starting to pay attention. Look at this headline, positive headline: US recession turning a tailwind for Bitcoin. We're starting to make that change, right? Weakening dollar and inflation woes, right? The irresponsible spending, all this. Reasons why Bitcoin is so important, reasons why people should be buying and holding Bitcoin, starting to hit, I guess, right? Starting to make people think, yeah, this is actually correct. This is why we have Bitcoin and why it's so important. So yeah, it's fantastic. I know most of you guys know it, but proof is right there. Bitcoin has recovered fully from yesterday's dip, and not only that, we are going higher. However, it's still a bargain. Obviously, we're not even back to our all-time high yet, although we're very close to six figures once again. But all these big boys, institutions, notice all these headlines, right? The bullish headlines are actually from the institutions. They're not just from analysts anymore. They're not just from influencers. They're not just from people on social media. These are from the big institutions. Look at this. This is Fidelity, one of the largest asset managers with trillions under management, saying this. Bitcoin is still undervalued, even at $96,000. Okay. So they're saying it. Hey, that means others are also thinking it. Look at this. Wells Fargo, Morgan Stanley, Merrill Lynch, UBS, some of the biggest banks on the planet, they are also going to be joining in the fun by offering ETS services by the end of the year. Um, yeah, and that's, of course, in addition to all the ETFs that already exist. Yesterday, even though we had a negative day overall, but guess who still bought? BlackRock. BlackRock continues on buying because they're different. They're different than everyone else, even though others may be panic selling. Um, BlackRock is different. Larry Fink is like, nope, I'm going to be accumulating. I'm going to buy more and more and more and more and more. Right? So, bottom line is Bitcoin is doing fantastic. It's starting to prove that it is a store of value. It's a hedge against inflation. And not only that, it's the most decentralized crypto that we have, the most decentralized and secure network that we have. And one day it may replace gold, but it is certainly going upward, just like gold. And remember, a few weeks ago, I covered how Tom Lee from Fundstrat said that Bitcoin should be acting like gold. Gold is ready, at all-time high. Bitcoin should be at all-time high and going further. All the deleveraging from the funds are over, and now it's time for Bitcoin to shine once again. And a lot of people, I told you guys I'm in Dubai. I talked to a lot of people today and yesterday and the day before. A lot of people have asked me about this cycle. Okay, where is it going to go? Is it over? Right? Where do I think the top is? A lot of people out there already have predictions. A lot of people like Kathy Wood, Arthur Hayes, um, Tom Lee, others, right? They already is Michael Saylor. They all have their predictions: 200,000, 250,000, $1 million. As you could see, I don't think anything has changed. I think this cycle will continue forward. That's what I've been telling people, right? Just because we had a little hiccup, we had a consolidation period, uh, things will move forward, okay? And a lot of charts say that. A lot of metrics say that. We will continue forward. It's not like we haven't seen this before in previous cycles. We have seen many, many scary things happen. Maybe not the same like tariffs, but we have seen other cases, black swan events or collapses or something. There's always something that causes Bitcoin and crypto to fall down, and we always recover, right? So things are looking absolutely fantastic. But it's not just Bitcoin today. Actually, besides Token 2049 today, I attended Sui Basecamp. And Sui is doing fantastic. In fact, not as fantastic, on fire. On fire. Got some interesting facts to show you guys. Sui, actually, one of the projects that have the largest staking ratio. I had no idea. Um, Among the top out there, right? And not only that, this is actually kind of interesting. Received 29% of Ethereum's outflow over the past year. You guys know I'm a big Solana fan, right? And I think Solana is definitely eating Ethereum's lunch. And of course, it has been. And you could see here, Solana took 55% of Ethereum's outflow. But guess who's number two? Sui took 29%. A second in second place. But a lot of people, always ask me, why is Ethereum so weak? Why is it not doing as well as before? Well, this is your answer, because there are many that are eating Sui's lunch. That's really the reason why, right? And look at this too. Sui flipped Ethereum-based Tron Solana for the first time, and even stablecoin transfer. That's interesting. Why is there so much stablecoin transfers? I have no idea, but I did like the base camp today. Today's base first day, met interesting people, projects. I really liked it. I really liked it. And same thing with Token. Although I gotta say, Token was not as impressive as last year. There was still a lot of people, a lot of things going on, but wasn't impressive as last year. That's for sure. And then lastly, I want to talk about this. Man, out of nowhere, we know Ripple, they have their own stablecoin, and stablecoins are going to be the future and very, very hot. They offer 4 to 5 billion to Circle to buy their USDC, which is it doesn't buy all of USDC. I take that back. It just buys the parent company Circle. But USDC, there's a lot more than 4 to 5 billion. And Circle rejected it and said no. Right, but that shows you how serious Ripple is and how much money they have to be able to just offer like $5 billion. And but they said no. They said no. But overall, guys, things are looking good. Look at over here, all green, right? And this is right before market open. I'm filming this before market open. Futures market is in the green right now, although that can flip because of all the negative headlines out there. So Wall Street, they may be, um, they sometimes they're wishy-washy. So sometimes the market opens green, turn to red. So we'll see how the U.S. market behaves today, but Bitcoin is strong. The narrative of Bitcoin becoming or standing on its own, becoming a hedge against inflation and a store of value and being the greatest commodity and not a tech stock is starting to come true and starting to come to life. And that is awesome, guys. That is awesome. So, smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Stay strong, my friends, and I will see you guys later. Take care. Bye bye.